what's going on? Yes. Hello, everybody. All right. Yeah. Listen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Man, if you think my unshakable good mood messes with you guys sometimes, imagine how the maggots feel. I have never seen a group of sore winners in my life. I don't know. I mean, I've seen some dunking going on, short-lived, like schoolyard bullshit where somebody will point at somebody after they dunked on them and but it usually doesn't last very long because you're worried about the next play and all that kind of stuff. But I have never seen a situation where somebody has dunked on somebody or thought they dunked on somebody where it actually the rim was tipped slightly and it was a layup that got knocked in accidentally off a piece of snot that was on the rim and just managed to work them in there where they seem to think they dunked anyways, where they dunk after and go, God damn it, how come I can never win, right? It's pretty amazing. So I have been, because everything about my job except doing it sucks. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean. By the way, hi chat room. Welcome. Hello. What I mean is that all the study and reading and stuff that I have to do to keep up with kind of what's going on, especially in this chaotic shitstorm that's going on, kind of blows. It's aggravating. But I got to say, I'm not... even then, I'm just kind of like, I'm more like in eye roll mode. That makes sense. And I'll show you what I mean. So, yeah, let's go with, it's not exhausting, Patui. Don't let him exhaust you. It isn't. Breathe deep and understand that they're exhausted. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me show you something. This is an actual hearing of the House committee that I think Jim Jordan is chairing, and the co-chair is jacketless jackoff over here. Who, by the way, anybody who's shitting on Fetterman for not coming to work in a suit has Jim Jordan to blame. He'll show. I guarantee Fetterman will start wearing a suit when Jim Jordan puts on a jacket. I don't want to hear shit. Anyways, point is, they're holding a hearing on right-sizing the government, which is basically them just running interference for Elon Musk. But I would like you to hear how somehow they seem to be under the illusion on a lot of these panels that the $7 trillion U.S. governmental expenditure balance sheet, which is shockingly only like $1.5 trillion under, considering the enormous amount of money. That means they're bringing in 5.5 all the time, which is kind of fucking amazing. And by the way, when I'm president, I'll fix that for you without, needing to pull the rug out from under poor people. Anyways, that most of them are just running interference for him. But I would like you to hear these folks kind of defending the kind of scattershot bullshit approach of Doge and the Doge Bags. That works. Doge Bags. Yeah? Okay, that works. Well, you'll hear. I forget who he talking to, because they're talking about, I think this might be during the hearing on telework, where they're in a fucking panic. But I pointed out yesterday how the USAID budget is like $40 billion worldwide and all the stuff that it does. And they've managed to find about 88 million with an M dollars worth of stuff they don't like. Doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's wrong, but they politically are against it or get outraged by it, okay? And clearly, sorry, are you guys not hearing me? You guys, audio seems to be okay on my end. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Listen to what they're saying and see if this sounds like winning to you.
Recognizes the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Schatz, is the federal government too big?
Yes, the expenditures certainly are, which makes the entity itself too big.
$7 trillion.
No, that doesn't. No, it isn't. No, it doesn't. Not automatically. This is a personal bias, period, end of story. No. It does what it's supposed to do. You could say it spends money on stuff you don't like, but fuck you. It's your opinion. And the amount of money it spends versus the size of our economy is pretty goddamn reasonable. If you talk about, like, if you looked at the country like a company, like these assholes like to do, that the managerial aspect of it would be $7 trillion or so in a $27 trillion business, it's completely reasonable for the overhead.
In annual spending, 400 agencies and sub-agencies, 1,000 boards and commissions.
Geez, it's almost as if America is the singular most powerful country on earth and the richest at the same time. And maybe managing that actually takes people. Because let's be abundantly clear. What are these assholes arguing? They want to automate the government. And you think they're going to stop at government jobs? You think that? You think they're not going to automate your job as well? You don't think they think you're a useless eater that can be replaced? Because I got news for you, red states. No matter what story these guys are telling, they consider you a fucking drag.
I think anyone, maybe even the people on the other side of the aisle, I think anyone would say, almost everyone would say, that's too big.
Why? What's your standard for too big? Big is true. Too big? Make your fucking case. Pick out one of those commissions and tell me how much it costs and what a big fucking drag it is. And don't bring up something that's $12 million in a $7 trillion expenditure year. Don't give me fucking 12 million. I got proof that it's a waste of time because this one thing that I don't like politically costs anything, right? That's not an answer. That's not too big. Too big means somewhere between 40 and 50% of it is unnecessary, and you can fucking prove it.
And when you have big government, does big government have a tendency to spend taxpayer money on stupid things?
Automatically? No.
That's part of the reason that we're here, and it's one of the things that Citizens Against Government Waste has been documenting for many, many years.
You've been highlighting.
So you make a living pretending the government is too big and trying to cut programs you don't like by pretending that's what the overreach is. The overreach is never the programs you like. The overreach is the programs that you're politically against. I see. And so you make your job, your whole fucking job is based on the idea that government is too big and spends too much money, and you know exactly where and how. And that's, if it stopped, your job would go away. Cool.
Fighting this for like 100 years. I mean, I've known you for a long time.
Yes, you guys have been selling the same shit for decades.
God bless you for persisting.
Organization, 41 years. I've been there 39.
And when you spend money, when you're the person spending money on something stupid, you just assume, you would just kind of hope that people don't really notice that, right?
Oh, you mean like all of Comer's hearings that were a fucking wash? How about all of your hearings that were a waste of fucking time? While you were not crafting bills or shaping policy to help your constituents, you were just chasing down their perceived enemies, and that was enough.
If you're in the government and you're spending, what did Miss Bobert just say, 32?
Let me guess, same shit everybody else says?
2,000 for a transgender comic in Peru, 16 million in gender development office. You're spending money on stuff.
Yeah, $60 million here, $32,000 on one particular thing. And instead of doing your fucking job and making the case why it should be pared back, you do a blanket kill order on all federal funding that will starve people and harm people and stop medical care so that you can attack whatever 1% of a single agency's budget. You grind to a halt all the stuff that's helping other people because Christianity.
Like that, you just kind of hope that people probably don't notice that. Is that probably fair to say? That's kind of human nature, I would think.
Well, that's part.
I don't know. What does hope have to do with it? You're on the committees. Republicans have had the House. they couldn't spot these things over the years, or were they okay with them? Because I'm going to guess. Hold on one second. Since she's quoting her, should we do it out of order? Which one? Let's see. Because I think, hold on, chat room. I'm pretty sure I saw Bobert's remarks as well as a separate video in this same thing. Now, again, I want to remind everybody, why is this important? Because these people allegedly won. These people are allegedly in a position of power. And by the way, I have a video coming up in a little bit that is probably going to set your hair on fire. Just be forewarned. Is a trigger warning. It's, yeah. Yeah, but it's worth it near the end. So I'll show you. Okay, anyways, back to here. This is Bobert stuff. Where were our best public employees at the Wuhan lab of virology? That's her thing. Lauren Bobert grills witness.
Bobert from Colorado.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The outrage here has been absolutely unhinged. As we
Outrageous? I would just have said outrageous. Also, by the way, outrage, it should be unhinged. I mean, it's rage. It's out. Very few hinges on that door.
seen in the media, we're seeing Politico, who's laying folks off, and as they're being defunded of American tax dollars, they can no longer sustain themselves. And so the outrage is just going to continue from those who are no longer going to be able to support their businesses.
Also, as far as I know, yeah, let's check. See if is Politico still online. Let's see, Politico. Was there and it met probably civilian value in offenses. Trump continues federal purge, gutting cyber workers who combat disinformation. Musk asks Doge staffer who resigned following racist social media posts will be back. Oh, says they will be back. Yeah, they're still there. Still a site. Still there. Story has how Tucker Carlson's nicotine pouch became the latest front in the culture war. What a they're using it as a nootropic. God damn, I hate when the news is like a month behind.
From American taxpayers, and we simply want accountability. We want...
Yeah, guys, hey, that's all she wants. She just wants accountability.
Oversight.
That's why she wants the Doge guys to remain secret and no FOIA requests about any of their communications. Right?
Oversight committee. And unfortunately, Congress has done a crap job of oversight and accountability over...
Since you've been there?
Quite some time, I would say decades. And that is why we have this new commission that is created. And Americans are grateful.
It's a commission. Well, I appreciate she points out that it's not actually a department.
For it. President Trump campaigned on...
So it's COG? She's going with COG? Excellent. I've clearly gotten through to some of these assholes.
Having this Doge commission to have oversight and accountability.
Listen to that Doge commission. It's interesting. She's hammering the point that it is not a department.
Accountability, and it is our responsibility to codify what happens. I am pleased with...
You mean codify?
The expedited efforts that have taken place to really get this out in the open and expose to the American people what their money is actually being sent to. And
great. So you're so of the $40 billion, the American people will be shocked at the enormity of the mismanagement and fraud. 60, 40, 80% of USAID.
And let's just...
Oh, no, just 1% that you could have found out on your fucking own with like a few phone calls?
Let's be honest with the American people.
Why start now?
Unelected bureaucrats have been...
Oh, you mean like the Doge Commission?
Funneling their hard-earned taxpayer dollars to ridiculous and even malicious causes.
Right, yeah, Doge. That's what we're complaining about. Those are unelected bureaucrats funneling money and intel, which is worth more than money in some cases, towards their own purposes.
Doge is doing the hard work to uncover the truth and make our government...
If that's the case, then why is the guy sitting in front of you aware of all the programs they have pointed out? You know that guy I just showed you, the dickhead that Jim Jordan is talking to? Hold on. Where is he? This guy? See this guy from the, we fucking hate big government, .org. .org, listen to me. Like it's nonprofit. This guy, he's known about all these programs for a long time. There's nothing new. They haven't found anything new. They've always been against this kind of stuff. They just don't like it. And again, it's graft if you don't like the program.
Government work for the people rather than funding policies that are actively hurting them. For example,
I'm not quite sure how condoms in Lebanon actively hurt me, but I'm all ears, weirdo.
Dr. Resch, in your testimony, you state that the recommendations from the Department of Government Efficiency will exacerbate public health crises. How is that the case when Doge is advocating to defund EcoHealth Alliance?
Defund EcoHealth Alliance? That happened last year. Maybe that's why. No, get out of here. Yeah, hold on. HHS bans EcoHealth Alliance and Group Sex Press from receiving federal funds for 5 years after Wuhan virus experiment. Hold on one second. That's the doubling down. Hold on one second. EcoHealth Alliance. Because Trump is signing all these executive orders for shit that's already been done. HHS 2024. That'll do it. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Get out of here. U.S. government suspends funding for virus research group at center of COVID-19 origin controversy. Whoops. Why are you pages move out of the way? There you go. May 16th, 2024. That's Peter Balsack, the dude from EcoHealth. They suck. This is dumb. They wolf in sheep's clothing for a long time. HHS Office of the Inspector General report last year, 2023, found that despite potential risk for research performed throughout the EcoHealth grant, the group was late to report information and the NIH failed to follow up. EcoHealth Alliance has said it was unable to access the NIH reporting system because of technical problems, but in a new HHS action memo, that's from the Biden administration, it says a forensic report found the group was never locked out of the system. They were full of shit. And so I guess thanks, Joe Biden.
Which was involved in the research in the Wuhan lab that created coronavirus, that created this global pandemic.
No. It created, the idea is that it might have taken part in COVID-19. Coronavirus is any type of virus, often the kind that lodges in your sinuses, that has a little crown-like thing on its cells that makes it look like, under a microscope, it looks like a little crown. Corona. So it looks like the sun around never mind. Look who I'm talking to, Mrs. SATs.
That killed people and ended the livelihoods of many others.
My statement was in reference to across-the-board firings without specific.
I think government employees have been given the option. They can have an.
And those that will be given the option will be more competitive on a private market basis than those that stay. So then you'll be losing your best public employees.
Were our best public employees at the Wuhan lab of virology? Were those our best?
Jesus Christ. We didn't have anybody there, dummy, nor would we.
Best employees, was that where our funding was going, to the best and the brightest who started a global pandemic?
I'm saying when you make a 20% across the cut without any
I think there's been a lot of inefficiencies, and I'm excited.
Yeah, that's your concern, is inefficiencies.
To see.
You know what? She's right. You know what? I can't be completely critical of Boobala here, because she has a tendency to fondle the truth, massage it. She tends to give the truth a reach around, often in public, as we can see. But I don't want to fault her when she's on the money. I would agree that in government, there are a lot of inefficiencies, things that could be remedied quickly. For example, her staff. Everybody who works for her, in her office, anybody around her who could have just looked up that the EcoHealth Alliance got their funding cut last year after a 2-year investigation so that it would hold up and they couldn't just sue to get their contract back because somebody glanced at them or heard something on the internet and dropped it, so they wouldn't win more money than they would have gotten in the first place. They did a full investigation, found that they that they were in the wrong, and then cut off their funding last year when Joe Biden was president. Last year when Joe Biden was president, EcoHealth Alliance lost its funding under HHS, not under USAID, where it was receiving some funding mid-Trump term one.
Where this goes and the exposure of that. And Dr. Rash.
I wouldn't. I got to say, I wouldn't bring up exposure. I wouldn't use that word if I were you. Like you and Matt Gaetz probably shouldn't. Maybe and Rudy Giuliani. All three of you don't use the phrase exposed, exposure, exposing. Just leave that aside.
Last administration weaponized NGOs to aid and abet illegal aliens across and within the interior of the United States. We saw millions of taxpayer dollars being funneled to NGOs that were spent on plane and bus tickets, hotel rooms, and even to coach illegal aliens on how to illegally stay in the country. Heck, we have a congresswoman.
By the way, she means people who are who have asylum claims and might not understand how to articulate it because English isn't their first language and they're in a desperate situation. So they go, okay, explain to me where you are and what your system is. I believe you. Here's how you can communicate what you want. I mean, it's too fucking humanitarian for her. Understand, but
who is currently coaching illegal aliens on how to stay in the country, what terms to use, even if they are untruthful. Now,
yeah, just say MAGA, yeehaw. I think that's what she's teaching her to say. I don't like no trans people in my shitter, that kind of thing. They're being taught phrases like that, stuff that will lead this administration to allow them to stay in the country.
Now, Dr. Resch, how does transporting millions of unvetted illegal aliens into our country make America safer? And how does stopping the funding of those NGOs harm America?
Stop the funding. So, both two wrongs making a right there. I think you have to establish that your premise is actually real. It's actually a real premise. I mean, instead of you're just making something up that they're just taking, that they're going down there and going, you look scary. Hey, you with the forehead tattoo, get on the bus.
That is tangential and irrelevant to myself.
Oh, it is not irrelevant.
Yeah, it is. He's there to talk about the federal workforce, dipshit. That's literally what this hearing is about. Largely like telework and whether you could fire people in general, cutting 20% of the workforce. That's what this hearing is about. The right sizing of government. And she's like, does that make a lot of sense? They're not being hired to be federal employees, you weirdo.
Let's go through the list of relevancy, shall we?
Yes, please.
We have open borders allowing millions of illegal aliens coming into our country unvetted, then the relevancy is in terms of Laken Riley, Jocelyn.
You're talking to basically HR, dipshit.
Nungary, Rachel Morin, Ruby Garcia.
Yes, the names we keep hearing over and over and over again, which, again, if it was as big a problem as you said it would, you wouldn't even repeat the same name twice.
Lisbeth Medina, and I could go on and on and on and on.
No, you can't. You just ran out. You can't go on and on. That's where your sheet ends. You're taking the tragedy of what happened to these people and you're painting immigrants into the country with a broad brush because you're a fucking moron. And you're yelling at the wrong dude.
With the American citizens who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens. So I think it's pretty relevant to say we need to look into these NGOs and what they are doing with these unvetted illegal aliens coming into our country. And
yeah, I mean, you would need more people reviewing grants and stuff like that, not less. Right? If you just cut 20% of the workforce because people are like, I'll take the buyout, that means, like he was saying, that you can, the kind of people who would take a buyout are either ready to retire, which is partly what they're thinking of this, or they know they can get a private sector job. They're very wanted. They've had offers. And so they take the money from the federal government and go get a private sector job. And everybody who can't do that is left behind to pick up the pieces because they're not the highest qualified in that circumstance. You're just effectively scooping the best off the top. But hey, maybe you're giving everybody underneath them a chance at a meritocratic climb.
Remaining into our country. Would you agree? Does that bring some relevancy to the topic, sir?
Not
No.
to workforce cuts across the American public service.
Well, but we're also
Right. Yeah. What the fuck does that have to do with me? Excuse me, HR lady. I know we're here to talk about how many new secretaries and we need to hire 2 accountants and maybe we need to cut somebody from staff in the warehouse and stuff like that. But I want to talk about who's keying our cars in the parking lot. Jesus. Like, this is, every word out of her mouth is a waste of taxpayer dollars.
also talking about the funding that is going out. We are cutting spending at
Yeah, but not what? The NGOs are secondary. They're not even employees, dumbass. The NGOs get grants or something. If you want to go through that, get on a different goddamn committee, stupid.
an executive level. And I hope that we codify all of that
Codify. You actually said it right, and then you corrected yourself.
here within these chambers to ensure that it does.
I love her grandiose language, don't you? Here, within these chambers, wherein these hallowed halls,
Doesn't go out again.
where we shall codify shit that has nothing to do with the actual committee I'm on. I wanted a different committee, but here I am talking to you.
Now, in your testimony, you also mentioned that Doge proposals reflect an agenda to dismantle professional government. According to you, this is fundamentally at odds with the principles of democratic governance. In November, President Trump won by a decisive mandate.
No, 75 to 78, there's no mandate there. It's pretty evenly split. Still in the realm of jump ball. The House is 1 vote, dummy. If you, God forbid, get sick or quit, there might even be a Republican out there that would switch sides if they could handle the death threats and give power to the Democrats. So simmer the fuck down with your, we own this joint.
To maximize governmental efficiency and productivity. And how
Productivity as opposed to the anti-ductivity.
are actions, these actions fulfilling the president's campaign promises fundamentally at odds with the principles of democratic governance? And while my time is running out, I want you to answer that, sir. But we hear about unelected folks. Democrats didn't even get a chance to vote for their own presidential candidate in their primary. So,
well, no, she was the sitting vice president, though.
don't talk to me about unelected people actually being involved.
Thank you, Tobias.
In the decisions in this country. But I would like to hear how that's at odds.
I would, though, because Elon Musk didn't get any votes in any primary ever. Matter of fact, he can't run for president. So he's decided to shove his apartheid fist up Trump's dopey ass and operate him like a fucking speak and spell from the inside.
Sir.
I have no response to that.
Well, that's
Yeah, waste of fucking time. Here's also, I have no response to that terrible answer. Here's what you say next time, trying to help you out. I think you're asking questions on the wrong committee. That's not my job at all. And I don't do other people's jobs. Maybe ask them?
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady.
I yield. Thank you.
I yield. I don't really have anything to say in the first place. I don't even know. Jesus. I have, I mean, you can just also go, I wish your questions were for me and what I do for a living. Are you sure you're in this? I think that, are you sure you're in the right room, ma'am? This is about the actual federal workforce. You understand? Maybe I could talk to you like the decider. Shit. Okay, so that gives you something. Again, these are the people that are supposedly have won by a large margin. And speaking of large margin, we'll get to her in a moment. But listen again to Jim Jordan for a second.
Is that the taxpayers don't know exactly how the money is being spent because there is not the transparency that, for example, Iowa, Ohio, Arizona, and other states have. And we should be able to push a button and find out how your tax dollars are being.
And so it's understandable.
Again, do any of these motherfuckers, you can say that there's missing data or you need more data or it's not clear enough or I don't understand how website menus fucking work because I'm a douchebag or I intentionally don't go to this site because it would fuck up my job. Yes, I can, George. Hi. It's right there. Start searching awards. There you go. Hold on. Recipient filter. It's currently a bug affecting the recipient filter feature of our service. We appreciate your understanding. You think they're cutting it so we can't look? Let's see. Filters. Let's see what's in there. Learn which data elements are associated with certain custom to fiscal years. You can go by fiscal year 2024, award type, contracts, IDVs, grants, direct payments, loans. Let's go to direct payments, shall we? And what agency? I'll leave it open. Maybe it'll just be all Treasury account symbol. It has a TAS component to it. You can look it up by that. You can look it up by recipient. Who gets it? Let's see. There's Alabama Medicaid Agency. How about they? What do they get? The Texas Department of Agriculture. The federal funds they get. The Arizona Healthcare Cost Containment System. 2 of those in there. Atlantic Diving Supply Incorporated. Apparently they get a payout. A couple of them. Bakery and Confectionery Union and Industry International Pension Fund, because they probably have bonds and shit like that. Climate United Fund. The Coalition for Green Capital. This is what they hate, by the way. Commonwealth of Virginia Department. Compagnie de Développement de l'eau USA, the French water department. I don't know. We're funding Perrier. Consolidated Nuclear Security LLC. There they are. There's all the recipients. You want to look it up? There's all the recipients, kids. I wish there was a button where I could look up what people are getting. Do you think you're going to get to see the I don't know, top secret shit? You dipshits. Okay, recipient type. How about this? General businesses, minority-owned businesses. Who's getting that? And by the way, you bet your ass they clicked on this one and went, fuck that. And they clicked all of these and went, how are we funding these minority-owned businesses? It's a waste of tax. Women-owned business, veteran-owned business, special designations, nonprofits. So they go through the NGOs and they go, okay, nonprofits. Okay, there we go. What's getting federal award amount, award ID, assistant listing, disaster emergency fund code in case it was during all this stuff. Yeah, it's all fucking super high. I wish there was, there is a button, submit. There we go. Click here to search award. Okay, here we go. Prime Awards. There we go. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. And how much? UT Bethel LLC Research Triangle Institute, $772 million. General Hospital Incorporation. Wow, there's a lot of General Hospital fans in the government. The Broad Institute. Congratulations, lady. You made the top of the list. National Collegiate Inventors and Innovators Alliance. This is about innovation stuff. Poca Lambro Telephone Cooperative, $110 million. Vanderbilt University Medical Center, Advanced Technology International. And here's all these. There they are. So you're telling me these guys scrolled through all these and went, nah, that's fine. Henry Ford Health System, we like that. Wabash Telephone, the Wabash Cannonball. All right, okay. Dignity Health. Sinclair Community College. Another one there. Okay. Tennessee Technological University. Clemson University. There you go. There's all the NGOs and private things under my list that were, hold on one second. And there are 98 pages of these. There you go. The results in these. Department of Education is a large portion of those because it's going to universities. $594 million. Department of Health and Human Services following up because the rest are hospitals with 536. Housing and Urban Development, 153. Federal Communication Commission, 152, making sure there's phone lines out in the fucking Appalachia. That's what we're talking about. Department of Agriculture, these are, the 135.8 million just through this, okay. Department of Defense, 7.7 million. It's because they get direct funding on most of their stuff. Credit Union Administration, Millennium College Corporation, Agency for International Development, 100. Look at this shit. Fuck me. All right. Hey, in the list of all these things, at the very bottom, this is last year, by the way, this is 2024. At the fucking bottom is the USAID. It gets $100,000 from these general category, the awarding agency. Gave out $100,000. That's because the Congress actually allocates a lot of the USAID stuff. They just direct it. Results by month. Here's the expenditures. Boy, January obligations are very high because you start the year off. September, obviously, because they bought me a big birthday present. Hey, look at this. Results by category. Look at this. Place of performance. Results by geography. States and territories. Show on the map. Total spending. Wow. Look at North Carolina. More than $233 million to North Carolina. How about there's Massachusetts? There you go. What are you doing? And then, Illinois, Texas, California, a little darker. 163 for the NGOs there. What the fuck is going on in North Carolina? $233 million? Some shit going on down there. So, yeah, it's USAspending.gov. You don't have to give fucking, free passwords for fucking, the inside of the Treasury. And no, you can't see it all, Gail, but you can see the vast majority of it. You can certainly see any of the stuff they have a problem with. And all of this Hamas-linked shit means anything related to a Palestinian anywhere. Jesus Christ. I mean, the Ayatollah of Iran's a Muslim, and we gave one to a Muslim charity in Michigan. Therefore, it's an Iran-linked thing. Get the fuck out of here. The point is USAspending.gov. Always been there, always has. And in certain departments where some of the stuff is opaque, it is this much of the shit that goes out the door compared to the rest of it. And it is up to it's the responsibility of the Congress, specifically the House Republicans, because they've been in charge of this and they bitch about it the most, to go through with a fine-tooth comb and needle this shit out instead of shutting down food aid and hospital aid in the United States and university education money and just so that they can get rid of 1% of it. Here's how you know it's an official U.S. government website. There you go. Okay, so you guys get my point. Now,
Why everyone on the left.
Not the transparency that, for example, Iowa, Ohio, Arizona, and other states have.
And
You
when
should be able to push a button and find out how your tax dollars are being.
And so it's understandable why everyone on the left, all the proponents of big government, all the supporters of big government, all the people getting the taxpayer money from big government, it's understandable why they are attacking Elon Musk, because he's pointing out the stupid things that government spends money on. Is that fair to say?
Well, he's not
No.
making it up, and in fact, many of the recommendations he's making
Great
have been
point.
made
He's
for
not
years.
making it up. He's citing.
whoa, 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 whoa. Shut the fuck up, Jim Jordan. I want you guys to hear that. This is super important. This is super important because the idea is without this access to these programs and his little douchebag, Doge douches, the Doge Bags getting in there, we wouldn't even know about this stuff. Oh my God, thank God Elon Musk's around or we wouldn't have found out about this. And listen to what this fucking guy says. Jordan talks over it, but listen. Hold on.
Well, he's not making it up, and in fact, many of the recommendations he's making
Great
have been
point.
made
He's
for
not
years.
making it up.
Many of the recommendations he's making have been made for years. That's because all of this stuff has been available on websites in a myriad of different outlets, both through the USAID, but also the groups that get them, because they get a little like, thanks to USAID, we blah, 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 is often on the websites of all these secondary programs. Good Lord.
Citing every single thing.
Right.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's there. I mean, look, the Department of Education has been something that was recommended by President Reagan to be eliminated, and
Yeah, because they love the poorly educated.
many others since then. U.S. Digital Service, U.S. Doge Service. Digital Service was duplicating the private sector. Same with 18F at GSA. So he's already helped save money by doing that.
Say that again, hold on.
And many others since then. U.S. Digital Service, U.S. Doge Service. Digital Service was duplicating the private
U.S. Digital Service. That's that's this. U.S. Digital Service. We're solving big problems using design and technology to deliver better services to the American people. Millions of people use federal government services every day. Too often, outdated tools and complex systems make these interactions cumbersome and frustrating. To improve these services, USDS hires mission-driven professionals into term-limited tours of civic service. By working alongside civil servants, they help address some of the most critical needs. And basically, that's the problem. They don't want people being able to access it better.
private sector. Same with 18F at GSA. So he's already helped save money by doing that.
So Democrats, instead of saying, yeah, we should probably not spend $32,000 for a transgender comic in Peru, yeah.
Again, $7 trillion federal budget, $40 billion just for USAID, $32,000. Again, you want to get rid of that stuff? Make your fucking case. Do it in your goddamn committee. But you don't shut down huge chunks of the government that are actually helping people who need food because you have a problem with it, especially when your entire life has been spent looking the other way when people are in desperate situations.
That's probably not a wise expenditure of taxpayer money to have Sesame Street played in Baghdad, Iraq.
Right. So they keep saying the Sesame Street and Baghdad thing.
It's on all that list. Instead of saying we should figure out how we stop that, they're saying no. We got to stop the guy who's pointing out.
No. Do you guys hear anybody upset about the little programs that they're yelling about? I mean, it shows their bigotry, obviously, but that's not what people are clamoring about. Everybody's just pissed. He's got access to their fucking Social Security information, stupid. And again, legally, how is the government at this point going forward able to prosecute anybody on any of the fronts where he's had access? Because all they have to do is say, Your Honor, they put that in there. I didn't do that. They changed the records to fuck with me. They backdated all this stuff. Even if it's not true, you can't prove it because unvetted people had unfettered access, and it now becomes unprovable.
The stupid things that government's spending money, taxpayer money, the money that people in the 4th district that I represent, their money on these kind of stupid things.
One moment, please. Let's see. Let's see. Congressional district. The median age is 40. It's at a 1.47% one-year decrease. The population, 787,372, more than Wyoming. Also, no. Jim Jordan represents this. Median property value, 191,000. Median household income, 73. That's on the upper end of the average. Poverty rate, 10%. 14% one-year decrease. Thanks, Joe Biden. Let's see. Economy. Let's look at the economy. Economy congressional employs 377,000 people. Largest industries in Congressional District 4 are manufacturing, 75,000. Healthcare and social assistance, 54,000. That sounds like government to me, largely, and government services. The social assistance part. Retail trade, 39,000. That's shops and stuff, 39.4. The highest paying industries are management of companies and enterprises. That's the CEO of smaller companies. Finance and insurance, 81,000. Utility, 79,000. Management occupations are the biggest group, and production occupations are 10%. 10% here. 2022 value 77K. Occupations, 12% growth, down 154% 1 year. From 2021 to 2022, employment in Congressional District 4, Ohio, grew at a rate of 12.4%, from 336 to 377. Thanks, Joe Biden. The most common job groups, blah, blah, blah. Unemployment insurance claims, there's their dashboard. There's 2020, PAPOW, and then Illinois, Ohio, that's the overall, okay? Employment by industries in this area, we already saw that. Median earnings, 55 for men, 35 for women. Agriculture, forestry, education services, health insurance, and real estate are the and heavily gendered towards male. And I guess that's a weird collection of shit. Employment by industry sector, 1.48% overall growth. You're doing a bang up job there, Jim. Almost 1.5% growth behind the rest of the country, which is like 3. Civics, there you go. It went Republican, but it's not 100%. Look at this. It's been flopping all over the place. And, yep, anytime Democrats start making some headway against Republicans, look who shows up. Fucking independents. There's a Ross Perot voter fucking up the things and giving it to, all right. Yeah, this is, I think ultimately, I want to say, well, I don't know. Did Clinton win the Ohio both times? It's by House Joe Jorgensen, Biden 45, and the presidential voter over time. There's J.D. Vance. He's been there since 2008. Yeah. So, I don't see it. I don't see how his taxpayers are footing the bill for this shit. Unless that one transgender operation was the entirety of their tax liability in the district.
Now it's being reported that there's something even maybe worse going on.
Uh-oh.
It's been
Let me guess, Politico?
Today that media outlets were paid millions of dollars by USAID. Now,
Oh, I'm sorry, the government doesn't get free subscriptions to services that they use? You're about to hear some really stupid shit.
Media outlets are saying this is for subscriptions to their publication, but I find that interesting. And one of the particulars that's pointed out, the FDA paid Politico $517,000 for 37 subscriptions.
Okay. Gather in, kids. Who thinks that 37 subscriptions for Politico, somebody wrote a check and nobody cared to look for 37 regular order personal subscriptions to Politico, got them $500,000? Or perhaps subscriptions for giant organizations, you get a group subscription that's part of the services you're providing because they need to be aware of a myriad of different things throughout all their departments. Right? 37 bulk subscriptions. Now, does it sound like this guy is being honest about 37 subscriptions? Yes, that's Politico Pro and it's group. If you get a subscription for a union, so all union members for free as part of their union work get a subscription to AARP, I don't know, the magazine for it. Is that one subscription that costs, that you could buy on the open market for $21 a year? Does anybody think that? Does anybody buy that? Even maggots, you're in the audience. Do you think he's being honest here? Do you think it's 37 individual subscriptions for that amount of money? Do ya? Because if you actually believe that, you're fucking stupid. You're stupid. You're being stupid. You are stupid. I don't know if it's a permanent case of stupid or a temporary case of stupid, or if it's just willful ignorance because you like Jim Jordan for his look the other way rapey shit. It's dumb. Here's the thing. If you don't think they should be doing these group subscriptions at all, and it shouldn't be part of it, make your fucking case. There's nothing wrong with that. You could go, I don't think they should be paying for these big group subscriptions so that everybody in the organization can have access to this, even though 20% of the workforce has to read it or has to check in on it or needs it as a source. Sit in this stupid fucking chair in the oversight committee and make your goddamn case. But don't shut down food assistance to poor people and children and that kind of stuff because you want everybody to believe that USAID is shockingly, involved in shocking amounts of graft by having, hiding $500,000 worth of money in 37 magazine subscriptions. I agree to everybody in the chat who's going that his followers believe this, the supporters believe that. Well, good. The ones that see this won't, because I'm not going to let you. You're being stupid. This is stupid. You don't get to go citation needed and all that kind of shit around all the arguments you don't like about climate change or whatever, and then give this shit a pass because it's fucking lazy.
That seems kind of high to me. Does that seem that way to you, Mr. Schatz?
Doing the math quickly, that seems excessive, yes.
Yeah. Take a little longer. Because it's not a subscription, it's a service. It's Politico Pro. It's part of their editorial service. They're huge organizations that have to deal with the public. They have to deal with the press. Again, the press end of all these different agencies has these subscriptions to things. They use them to access which way the news is going. They've got to track public trends and all that kind of stuff internally, right? So they're subscribed to a bunch of these fucking things. They're just mad because they don't understand what it's for. And by the way, I don't care. If you want to make the argument that Politico Pro is not the best version of that or whatever, then fucking make it. But again, it does not mean shutting down food assistance for people because you don't like that. Just attack that, you lazy fuck.
Yeah, that seems a lot for now. Maybe there's some explanation here. Maybe this.
I don't know. Maybe you've got a whole goddamn staff as the head of the Judiciary Committee that can look it up for you. You got Donald Trump's number. Have him ask Elon what they found. And I'll tell you what, mid-yawn when you hang up the phone and you're trying to figure out a lie to cover yourself, I wish a reporter would call you up and go, what'd you find?
You know, maybe Politico is so darn important that it costs that much and taxpayer money should be spent for. But I find that interesting, particularly $517,000 for 37 subscriptions when it's the press, the government paying the press. Does that in some way maybe jeopardize what the press?
Sorry, no, there's a service that Politico Pro provides. Somebody saw worth in it. You can disagree. And if you're saying they're just doing it for that reason, then I presume no one in your staff has a subscription to it. And certainly if they do, they pay for it on their own dime. It doesn't come out of your office. It doesn't come out of your campaign.
That's the free press that we're supposed to have in our great country.
Hey, asshole, free means their ability to say whatever they need to say. It doesn't mean zero cost.
Well, it's certainly something that taxpayers probably didn't know until today. I didn't know that.
Didn't know it till today, and it's also government
You still don't know it.
paying the press that kind of money. 37 subscriptions will give you $500,000. Might Politico write favorable things about the particular administration is paying that money? I don't know. I'm not saying that happened.
Yeah, you are. You're I'll tell you what. You're pussing out about it. You're being a pusillanimous weasel. You're doing the weasel work of you're not implying it, but you're allowing for the inference therein, which is what a weak man does. That's what a weak person does. Either say it, directly imply it, and don't back off of it, and deal with it when you're found out to be wrong, right? Or don't be a wuss.
But you can sure look at some of the things that's been reported by.
Yeah, I'm looking at the things that have been reported. And you know what the interesting thing is? In the things that have been reported, they are secondary sourced, obviously, in the House. You have access to that shit. We got to read the newspaper to find out some stuff, okay? Because we don't have access. We don't have people in the room, listen to the phone calls. I have some friends that pass me along some information on occasion, which I share with you guys when it comes up. Or if I have a question, I will call them and go, is this a thing? But most of the time, I certainly don't have any operatives in there. He's got a whole fucking staff.
Some of the press, particularly Politico, and you can't help but ask that question.
Then ask it for real instead of pretending to ask it.
Governor Reynolds, I got like 50 seconds. You came all the way from the great state of Iowa. I'll give you a chance to comment on any of the things I raised there. But I do think this is amazing. The guy who's pointing out the stupid things the government spends money on, that's who gets attacked versus, no, let's fix the stupid things.
Nobody gives a shit about the things he's pointing out that you guys are jumping on. Do you see anybody like leaping to the defense of these, expenditures in particular? Don't fucking cover your ass with like these like culture war like slipshod arguments, asshole. The complaint people have is his access to individual records of human beings, American citizens, that he should not have access to. And the problem I think that a lot of people have is that they could just be releasing bullshit they made up. For real, how do we know that they didn't get in there and make up some of this stuff and just type it in? How about this? I'm implying that's exactly what they did. That the $32,000 transgender surgery in fucking Guatemala was an argument in like an inside joke in the Doge office, and they typed it in. Prove me wrong. I would be happy to be wrong. But you can't. You know why? Because you gave people who have not taken an oath to the government or to the Constitution access to these things, and you have no idea what they're doing. Prove that money actually went out the door. You can't. It's all on paper. It's all digital. And the more you let people who weren't supposed to have access in there, and there's no FOIA request chain where you can track it, the more I believe that it was just inserted. It's just bullshit. Prove me wrong. By the way, have any of these motherfuckers walked out and gone, I found the laptop, here it is? Anybody? Let me guess, when they walk out of there, do you think it's going to have a Beau Biden sticker on it, or are they going to forget to slap that thing on there? Think they're going to walk out with a Dell with a fucking Apple sticker on the top of it? You're going to walk out with a hard drive? I found the laptop. It's a hard drive named laptop. Have you seen it yet? They've been in power. I mean, obviously he couldn't end the Ukraine war in 24 hours, but he sure as fuck hasn't found the laptop. Where is it? Where is it? Somebody from the Oval Office on behalf of the president currently could walk the fuck over to the FBI and go, let me see it. They could absolutely do it if it existed. John G has it right now. Don't let him have it if they come for it, John G. Just hold on to it, and I'll come by and pick it up later. Right? Where the fuck is that? Where is it? Yeah, is it a vinyl sticker or is it a fabric sticker? They're going to get it wrong. And the problem they have is they create unfalsifiables. When you allow people to fuck around inside the government or a giant hack to happen, and then you find out later, just like if you have identity theft situations, you can't, any criminal defendant, any civil defendant can go, Your Honor, there is no way the state can prove that the documents they brought in are actually true documents that show reality, show what I bought, what I sold, where I was, what I did. They don't, if that's their evidence, there is no way they can prove that it was not modified from within by the Doge guys to come after me. There is no way they can prove that. And I, because of my Fifth Amendment protections, am not responsible for just bringing in every fucking email I've ever written so that they can sift through them and try to find a crime because they were unable to create one out of thin air. I would recommend this to anybody where the weaponization of government comes from. All you got to do is go, Your Honor, there is no chain of custody on any of the material they're trying to use to convict me. None. The Doge Bags broke in. They have been allowed unfettered access to all government servers. There is no way to prove it isn't compromised. There is no way to prove that these are the original documents. They have just printed them out. They could have just typed them up themselves, and it is not my responsibility to prove their case for them. Yeah, Fourth Amendment is search and seizure, but Fifth Amendment is incrimination, self-incrimination. You can't be forced to self-incriminate. And if they can't prove that that evidence was never tampered with because you let Doge in there and they can change the dates on documents and there's no FOIA request they're honoring about who had access to what, who could prove a case internally for anything that happens in the fucking government? Who? Not, seriously. Anywhere. Your Honor, we have these documents. Here's the dates, here's the thing. Prove they didn't alter it, Your Honor. They gave someone access to this stuff, and I'm not responsible for providing them with evidence. They have to prove that the material they are presenting today was untouched by Doge, and they can prove that it wasn't, or that it was untouched. As for my part in this, I plead the fifth. I'm not leading these assholes towards some wiggle room so they can try to whitewater me. Look, I don't mind being this brilliant, but everything I'm saying is legally a reality because they are not tracking the access these guys have. The idea that it's not limited to, say, Department of Justice servers or something like that they're not accessing it through a terminal in the Oval Office. And no one can track what they were doing on any particular time. I want a list of their activities. So if they were, exactly. You have to prove me guilty. And if you're using government documents to do it, how can you say they're real? So, the fact that this guy, thank God this guy is so fucking dumb. Thank God that Jim Jordan is a fucking moron. Yeah, I want keystroke logs. Templeton, you and I both know that if you can get the keystroke logs, you can change the keystroke logs. Where's the line? Now, in any government document that is going to be used to, weaponize government, Pam Bondi shows up fucking anywhere. We found these emails, Your Honor, prove it. But Your Honor, these are real emails from prove it. Prove they weren't modified from within. Because again, last edited, you can change the last edited. And even if, there's malware that could sweep up after they fucking leave. So, all right. Here we go.
I spend money on them. I just don't get that. And I think the American people have common sense, and that's how they look at it. My guess is,
No. They do not have common sense in this case. They have common misconceptions. They have been sold a bill of goods, and some of it sounds reasonable. It's common sense that a timeshare is a great use of your money and it's not a problem and you're going to use it and it's going to be great and don't you like it anyways? And then you find out later trying to get out of it is fucking hell, right? That's common sense as well. But it's only common sense you get after you fucked up the first time. And if it's your own money and your own life, who cares?
Lots of good people in Iowa, they have lots of common sense. That's probably how they look at it.
That's exactly how.
Really? Do they? You sure? Or do they go, Xi Jinping used to come here all the time, and without the Chinese soybean market, we're fucked, and therefore China deserves concessions. That's also an Iowa political point.
How they look at it, $36 trillion in debt, $2 trillion annually being added to the debt. Kevin and I have 11 grandchildren. I want them to have the same opportunity I did growing up, and I appreciate President Trump trying to.
Sorry, you want to have the same opportunities you had growing up? Which is what? Going to an elementary school with no computers in it? Traveling on across bridges that are failing beyond repair because it was before even the infrastructure bill before the last one? Those same chances?
Right-size the ship and get it back in line. And I don't hear any answers to the contrary. What are their answers except for leave everything the way it is? And that
Nobody said that. Straw man. Nobody said that. Nobody's saying leave it the way it is. What they're saying is if you don't handle a grease fire in a kitchen by blowing up the house. Well, say what you will, but the kitchen fire's out.
that's not working. So thank you.
That's not what you did in Iowa. You didn't leave
not what we
everything
did.
the way it is, and you changed things, and taxpayers got more efficient government.
Did they? There you go. GDP. Hold on one second. Iowa education stats. Oops. Department of Education, COE. Let's give it a shot. Boink. There we go. Okay. Assessment. Presents students' participation rates, proficiency rates, da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. Assessment by year. There's the chart. Let's look at it. Yeah, massive changes. You're doing, yeah, super good. Hold on. Control minus and shrink this down. Yeah, it's been a huge change, man. Just incredible. Let's see. Select school district. It's the state overall, and measure proficiency rates. Select topic. Residents. Let's see. Select district. There's the overall state. Let's see. Year all students. Just humming right along at about 69 to 71%. Yeah, apparently math proficiency has gone down in Iowa because you are apparently incapable of understanding static general lack of change. Again, there's nothing wrong with Iowa trying stuff, but let's not pretend they went from last place to first place, for fuck's sake.
Which is exactly what we want. I yield back. Thank you.
Okay, then let's see. Where is? Oh, it's in this one. Sorry, 1 second. This right here. So this is Byron Donalds. Did you purposefully you know what? It's the same shit. We don't need to see these guys again. Yeah, it's the same Bobert garbage.